Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Jag here. And basically I've been getting a lot of requests and students are asking for more grade 9 math content. Alright, so that's what we're going to do today. And seems like a lot of students are entering into high school in the fall. So once again, congratulations. This is basically a new phase in your life. Make sure you're having a lot of fun. At the same time, make sure you're studying your math and science, okay? Because it's really, really important. Alright? So let's get started. Today's topic is going to be covering the laws of exponents, and we're going to do many examples, okay, from the textbook. And once again, the textbook we're using is the grade 9 Principles of Mathematics. All right. This is most likely the textbook that you're going to be using at your school as well. With that, let's get started. So I have an example written down on the board here, okay? And it's y to the power of 3 times y to the power of 5, okay? So what we're gonna do is when you're multiplying these variables here, and I can see that the base is the same, okay? The variable here for the base is y, okay? When you have the same base, what you're going to do is you're going to add the exponents together. So on the side here, I've written down add the exponents, okay? And this is when you're multiplying, okay? So let's put when multiplying, okay, comma, okay, and I'm going to put the base is the same. All right, so I have to make sure it's always the same. If the bases are not the same, I cannot apply any of the laws of exponents, okay? So if we're looking at our example here, what we're going to do is y, all right, to the power, and I'm just doing 3 plus 5, okay, like that. And it's going to equal to y to the power of 8, okay? Are there any questions there? So very simple. These are laws of exponents are very, very simple. Just some of the questions will be a little more complicated as we move on. All right. So with that, let's go to the next law. So I'm going to take this off. Okay, I'm going to take out just part of this here, okay, because the second law is actually also very similar here, okay? So we're going to try this example here. So it's 6p to the power of 7. Okay, I'm going to divide it by 3p to the power of 3. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to basically subtract the exponents, okay, when I am dividing. And again, the base here is the same, okay, so I'm not looking at the numbers. If you're looking at this example here, the base is actually p, okay, so what you're going to do is if there's a number in front, I'm going to just divide the numbers. I'm going to do 6 divided by 3 here, which is 2. Okay? And for p, I can see I have 7 and I have the exponent 3. I'm going to do 7 minus 3. Okay? Let's still write it down here, okay? So you could see it. Alright? You don't have to write it out like that as a step. You can write your final answer because it is very simple. So I'm just doing 7 minus 3, so 2p to the power of 4. And this is your final answer here, okay? So this is the second law of exponents, okay? Is when you're dividing the exponents, or when you're dividing the two numbers, you're just going to subtract the exponents, all right? Are there any questions so far? All right, it looks good. So let's go to this next example here. This time we're gonna try using, okay, two variables, okay? I'm just gonna take out the rule as well. Okay, because in this example, you're just applying the same rule here. Okay, so we're going to do a to the power of 2, okay, and b to the power of 3. Okay, I'm going to multiply it by a6 and b4. Okay, so don't get confused here, okay? It is not complicated. What you're going to do is, again, because I'm multiplying, I'm going to add the exponents for each of the variables separately. Okay, so if I'm looking at a here, all right, I'm adding the exponents. I'm going to write it here. Okay, I'm going to do 2 plus 6. Okay, and for b, I'm also going to add the exponents. I'm going to do 3 plus 4. Okay, again, make sure you're putting the equal sign going down. Okay, don't write it going across. Okay, so this is going to be equal to a to the power of 8. Okay, and then b is going to be to the power of 7. Okay, and this is my final answer. If you look in your final answer, I can see that there are no like terms. Okay, one variable is A and the other one is B. So I can't even simplify that anymore. That's how I know that this is my final answer. All right, is everyone good so far? Okay, we're going to go through one more law of exponents, okay, because that's really important. All right, let's take this off. Okay, let's try an example from here. Okay, so this is the law that has, or that takes into consideration the brackets. So we're going to do 3 to the power of 2, and outside the bracket we're going to put 4. Okay, so anytime you have like brackets like this, okay, what you're going to do is multiply the exponents together. Okay, so I'm going to put multiply, okay, the exponents. Okay, this is actually known as the power rule. Okay, so here the base is going to be 3. Don't multiply the base by 4. I'm going to do 2 times 4. Okay, so this is going to equal to 3 to the power of 8. All right, so if the question says to just simplify, okay, I'm just going to apply the laws of exponents here. Okay, if the question says to evaluate, I have to actually put it into my calculator and find an exact value here. Okay, so say I'm going to grab my calculator. So say this question said to evaluate it, we're going to do 3 to the power of 8, which is 6,561. Okay, so I'm going to put in brackets here that we were evaluating this expression. Okay, so make sure you're actually reading the question very carefully. Some teachers will try to trick you. They'll take off marks if you're not evaluating your answer at the very end. Okay, some questions might just say write as a single variable, okay, or use the laws of exponents to simplify. At that point, I could actually stop right here and just leave my answer. Okay, so with that, let's try one last example. Okay, so this one's going to include all of the laws of exponents together, okay? But I'm going to make sure it's not too complicated, okay? So let's try this one. So it's going to be negative 2v 3 times 8. And I can see that I'm using all of the laws of exponents here, okay? There's going to be multiple exponents, okay? And you can do as many steps as you want, okay? The teacher's not going to take off marks for that. Oh, let's put 2 here actually, so it's simple. Okay, so I can see there are 2 variables here, u and v. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the top and the bottom separately. Okay, so on the top, I can see that I can multiply these 2 numbers. I'm going to do negative 2 times 8, so negative 16. Okay, for u, you see how there's nothing there? It's not a 0, okay? The exponent is actually 1. So some students get confused with that. This is going to be 1 plus 2, so it's going to be u to the power of 3. Okay, and we're only doing the top part right now, okay? For v, it's going to be 3 plus 2, okay? So v to the power of 5. So that's going to be basically the numerator, okay, of this fraction. So we're going to look at the bottom, and I want to do that together here, okay? So you see how there's a 4, and the squared is outside the brackets, okay? So it's actually it's not 4 times 2. It's going to be 4 to the power of 2, okay? And I'm actually going to write that out. Again, this is a common mistake that most students make, okay? So 4 to the power of 2. And now, on the u, I'm just going to put 1, okay? So we don't get confused. And we're going to apply the power rule here with the brackets, and we're going to multiply the exponents, okay? So for u, I'm going to do 1 times 2, which is equal to 2. Okay, and for v, we're going to do 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, so just like that, all right? And I'm going to write it going across, okay, so we can see it on the board, okay? When you're doing the homework or like on a test, make sure you're writing it going down, okay? So 4 squared here is equal to 16. Okay, let's do one more step here, okay? So on the top, I'm going to put negative 16. And on the bottom is also just 16, okay, which is 4 squared. with the exponents, because we're dividing now, I'm going to subtract the exponents, okay? So I'm going to put u, okay? This is 3 minus 2, which is u to the power of 1, all right? And for v, I'm going to do 5 minus 4, which is v to the power of 1. Now don't stop there, okay? Whenever you have a fraction, okay, just like in elementary school, we have to make sure we are simplifying all the fractions and reducing them, okay? Even if it's, in this case, it divides as a whole number. And if it doesn't, make sure you're just reducing it and leave your answer as a fraction, okay? So in grade 9 math, everything should be left as a fraction. You are not using any decimals, okay? Teachers will take off marks for that. All right, so let's write a final answer for this. It's negative 16 divided by 16, which is negative 1. Okay, and if the exponents are just 1, I actually don't even need to write the 1 on top of them. So I'm just going to put negative 1 UV. Okay, at the same time, I don't even need to put the 1 over here. Okay, I put it just so you can see that the fraction is reducing in this case. I can even put my answer as negative UV. Okay, most teachers won't take off marks for something like that. Okay, they're not too picky. Okay, I just have to make sure that I'm applying the laws of exponents correctly, and I'm getting the proper answer at the very end. Okay, so if there are no questions, that brings this video to an end. What we covered were the laws of exponents. Again, make sure that you are basically memorizing all of these laws so you can properly apply them to any of the questions that the teacher gives you, and you can do again as many steps as you need to do. All right, so again, thanks for watching this video, and I will see everyone next time. Thanks, bye.